this is Roy. How are you? It's kind of late, but I figured that we'd go ahead and show you another video. This is on a Mitsubishi Galant. We kind of, just for the lack, so that the video wouldn't be so super long, Mid-Atlantic Tools had asked us how exactly we go about getting how we usually detail the car. So so we kind of got ahead of ourselves. We're kind of gonna give you kind of like a quick take on how we kind of shampoo the car, and then tomorrow we'll show you how this vehicle is gonna look finished. If you look now, the vehicle has already got wax. You could tell because if I run my finger like this, you could see that it's got wax on it. So for the viewers, this is what I used. It's Meguiar's Cleaner Wax. You could pick up a bottle of this at Walmart. I think it's like $8. And we also wanted to talk about the difference in the sponges. So we like to use these a lot better, I guess, because it sits flatter on your hand versus these yellow ones. These I'm thinking are good for like when you're doing headlights, maybe something small. For guys that have big hands, this would be a big problem because it's too small for their hand, and you almost have to, if you look at my hand, you almost have to use these 4 fingers to do this motion. When you do that for a long time, you know, you're gonna get your hands wore out. To where something like this, you can lay your hand flat and it's easier, and you're also going to cover more ground on the vehicle. So that was that. We're going to show you the interior light. If you're working on cars late at night, this helps a lot. You can pick one of these up from Amazon. Sabre makes some. There's a lot of companies that make these. I think this lamp was made by Monster. Monster also makes interior lamps. So you could pick up one of these for probably 200 bucks. So if I put this has clips so it extends. These are under the hood lamps, but I use them for underneath here. So if I put this right here on, and it turns on, you see it illuminates the whole entire car. So now we're going to go in fast motion. I'm going to get my liquids and I'm going to start spraying. So you could use different products on this. You could use Simple Green. You could use carpet shampoo, depending on how the car is. This car was not so bad, so we're just able to use regular carpet shampoo, something that smells nice, so it gives it a nice fragrance. So here we go. We sprayed that side. You want to make sure you grab your seat belts too. You know, people grab these with dirty hands and they put it around their chest. So you want to make sure that you get this on the seat belt as well. It helps if you have this type of sprayer. It's the type of sprayer that the detailer guys use for when they're doing window tinting. But I use it here because it's faster for me, and you're not going then your hands get stiff. So this is much better. It covers a lot more. You also want to make sure you do your trunk. If you're going to run a hot water extractor, you want to make sure you grab everything that's fabric, even up here. So we'll go this way, do this side. Get it all over the carpet. And what it does is, if you notice, I go ahead and let the chemical sit for a little while so that the chemical starts working and doing its effect before you start brushing. So here we go. I want to make sure we get this on the seat belts. I would say that the seat belts in the front of the car are probably the most dirtiest, because this car, you could tell that you don't get a lot of people that sit in the back. But we're gonna do those seat belts anyway, just a little bit like that, and like that. Now we're gonna brush the car. You wanna release the pressure so you don't have no bottles with pressure. We'll put this bottle over here. My foam is over there with the brush. We'll start from where we first started on the video, this side, the driver's side. You're also going to need a brush. This is an old brush, but you know, you should get a new one. But you want to get a brush that is angled like this, so at the time that you're brushing, you're not going to ruin your knuckles. So you want to make sure you don't ruin your hands. You got to take care of your hands, because if not, you can't work. So you want to spray some foam. This will make the carpet smell fresh and clean. And the customer, if he's paying you top dollar for this, he's going to want to make sure that his car smells like it first stepped out of the showroom floor. And you just want to make sure you give it a good brush to loosen any soil that's in there, so that the machine will get ready to be picked up. And tomorrow we'll give you a take of what the car looks like after we take the wax off and do the engine. So you do the same thing in the trunk. So if they go on a trip, if they put the luggage in here, they don't want to have a stinky trunk. And at the same time, you run the brush through here, let that foam sit in there. And now we're going to do the other part. On tomorrow's video, I'll show you guys too the different sockets that you're going to need to take the seats out, the different sizes. It takes a 14 millimeter, and then on the seat belt it takes an 18. And actually it's a 17. Okay, so we are almost done with that. Okay, and now we start the extraction so the viewers get to see how it's really done. So I already filled up my machine with water. I left the heater on so it starts boiling the water before I start. And since we started on the end of this side of the car first, that's the first side we're going to tackle. So I'll start with my pump and then the vacuum. So now we're picking up, we're using clean water, so don't put shampoo in the water. And you want to use a hot water extractor like the ones they use to do the carpet in your house. The seatbelt too, because we're ones that are really dirty. You want to do both sides of the seatbelt. drain the water. And if you guys can see, that water is dirty. Even though the car apparently looked clean, but you could tell it was due. I mean, the owners, I'm sure, know when the car is due. On this one was pretty clean. Sometimes, depending on how the car comes in, if you have a lot of stuff on the top on the sun visor, you have to be careful using that, because if you use that on the top, you can pull the fabric down. So a lot of times it's just easier to do it by hand. But folks, that's kind of how much we owe this video to Mid-Atlantic Tools, because he wanted to see. And if you guys notice, it makes a whole lot of difference when you take the seats out versus having the seats in there, because if you only push it back and forward, then that piece is only going to go so far. So it's best to take them out. And tomorrow when we do part number 2, I'll show you guys how the seats actually go, how you can take them out carefully, because the wires are not that long. They're only about this much. So if you take the bolts out and you try to do this, you could literally yank the hardware on the bottom. So I'll show you guys how to take them out so that you're careful. And once again, thanks for watching. And if you guys need us to show you something else, we'd be happy to do a video for you. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good night and be safe. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a like. I'll see you next time. Bye.